back, everyone. Today we are going to goldfish my buddy's commander deck, ALTAIR IBN-LA'AHAD. He is from Assassin's Creed, I believe, and he's a Mardu commander. It's a human assassin that has first strike, and whenever he attacks, get to exile up to one target assassin creature card from your graveyard with a memory counter on it, so you're exiling stuff from your graveyard. Then for each creature card you own in exile with a memory counter on it, you're going to create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. Then you exile those tokens at the end of combat. So, gotta get those assassins into the graveyard to get this deck to roll. So I've only ever played against the deck, so I'm not entirely sure what a good opening hand is here. So make fun of me in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see if this is a good opening hand or not. So we have a command tower, got Anger, Roshan Hidden Magister. So it looks like this has to do with assassins. Other creatures you control are assassins in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Face down creatures you control have menace. Interesting. Whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. I wonder how relevant those 2 lines are going to be in this deck. Arcane Signet, we have a Farfinder, Mountain, and a Siege. I'll tell you what, I think this is good enough to keep. So, lucky us. We won the die roll, so we will draw a card for our turn. Drew into Hellspur Posse Boss, and we drew into Hellspur Posse Boss, and we are going to play a command tower to start off the game, and that is a super exciting turn. So we'll ship it to our opponents. Comes back to our turn, so untap, upkeep, draw. I have a Cover of Darkness for 1 and a black. As it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a creature type, and then creatures of the chosen type have fear. They can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures. That's pretty cool. Very on theme too. Let's see. Now for some reason I thought we had more lands. So we'll do a mountain. And then I'm gonna put down, do I put down the Arcane Signet? Yeah, I do. I'll play an Arcane Signet for the turn, and then I will pass. So, slow start. Okay, so untap, got the Arcane Signet here, got my lands here. Upkeep, draw. We have an Undercity Eliminator, 3 and 2 black. It's a Gorgon Assassin, and when it enters the battlefield, you may sack an artifact or creature. When you do, you exile target creature an opponent controls. Okay. Let's get some more lands. So we'll put down a Farfinder. It says that when it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna go search for a basic land. What do we need? Maybe a plane makes sense. I'm gonna put down a, planes goes to my hand first. Then I'm gonna play it as my land for the turn to do things correctly. Gonna shuffle this up. Don't shuffle it too much. Okay. And that does it for my turn. So, my turn again. Untap. Upkeep, draw. We drew into a Vandal Blast, which is neat. I can play my commander, but I don't have anything in my graveyard yet. And this is a 6 mana blow up the board essentially, so we're definitely falling behind a bit here. I suppose if we want to have a presence here, other outlaws we control have haste. When this enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 red mercenary creature tokens. Let's play it. So red, red, white, and we'll do another red. So we'll cast a Hellspur, Posse Boss. Other outlaws I control have haste. So specifically, that is helping our commander gain haste. Make sure all my cards are in view here. So we will then create 2 1/1 red mercenary creature tokens that you can tap, and then target creature gets +1/+0. So I will create 1 there, and I don't actually have any dice with me today. Well, let's use, I'm going to use this as a token. Oh, never mind, I do have some dice, so we'll put that down to signify that we have 2 mercenaries out on the battlefield. And then I would probably just attack with the fox because it has vigilance. Let's say that the fox gets killed. I'm going to put this into my graveyard. And then I'll pass a turn. Back to my turn. I'm going to untap. Upkeep, draw. Drew into a Bejuga Bog. So I can eat up one of my opponent's graveyards if I really wanted to. I'm going to do just that actually. I'm going to put down the Bejuga Bog. I would target, I don't know, probably target one of my least favorite friends. Just kidding. I'm going to leave this over here. We're kind of running out of space here, so yeah, I think that's fine. I would then cast my commander for the turn, actually. So I'm going to cast ALTAIR IBN-LA'AHAD. He's going to enter, and this is where things get kind of fun. He's going to enter, and other outlaws, which include assassins, have haste. So I'm going to immediately go to combat. I'm going to attack with ALTAIR, and when I attack, I get to exile up to 1 target assassin creature card from my graveyard. Actually, no. Oh man, so this isn't an assassin yet. Well, heck, I will still attack, because why not, right? I will also attack with my Hellspur Posse Boss. And let's say that the Posse Boss gets killed. No one's going to want to block ALTAIR because he has first strike. So that's nice. And then I will pass the turn. And actually, I could have tapped these 2 guys to give ALTAIR +2/+0. So I'll do that. He'll attack in for a 5/3, and that'll be it for my turn. So then I'm going to untap, upkeep, draw, drew into an outpost siege. I want to do this right. So we are going to put down a Roshan Hidden Magister. Put Roshan down, and now this is where it starts to get fun. Other creatures you control are assassins in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So now these guys are assassins in addition to their other types. I control these technically, well, I mean, they're in my graveyard, but they're cards that aren't on the battlefield, but, you know, they belong to me, right? Face down creatures you control have menace, and whenever a permanent you control is turned face up, you draw a card and use 1 life. I don't think that's going to be super relevant, but I will play Roshan Hidden Magister, which then makes these two guys, assassins. Then I'll move to combat. Let's do the same trick again. I'm going to tap these two tokens, make them a 5/3. And now, this is cool. When he attacks, you get to exile up to one target assassin creature card from your graveyard with a memory counter on it. Then for each creature card you own in exile with a memory counter on it, you create a tapped and attacking token. It's a copy of it. Exile those tokens at the end of combat. So I am going to exile Farfinder. And he's going to be exiled with a memory token on him. Now my question, and I have to look this up, is when you exile that creature with a memory counter on it, does the second part happen, or does that creature already have to be in exile? Then for each creature card you want to exile the memory counter on it. Try. I'm going to look that up. But at least now we have a creature with a memory counter that is in exile, and we are moving forward with the game plan. So, shift the turn comes back to me. Put this mercenary upright, and then we are going to untap, upkeep, draw. I drew into a clifftop retreat. Gonna play said clifftop retreat. It'll enter untapped. There's nothing I want to sacrifice. Anger's cool, but I don't think really need it at the moment. I think I'm gonna cast an outpost siege, and I'm gonna choose cons. So at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top card of your library until end of turn. You may play that card. So that'll be nice for a little bit of card advantage. And then I'm going to do that in my second main phase. I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to, again, tap these guys, give ALTAIR +2/+0. I'm going to attack. Now I will exile my Hellspur Posse Boss. So he'll be gone with a memory counter. But now, since I have a creature with a memory counter that's in exile, I get to create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of it. So just for example, I'm going to have Farfinder enter as a token copy, and it does have an ETB. So when it enters a battlefield, I may search my library for a basic land card. I'm going to search up, let's see what goodies we can find in here. Let's search up, I want a swamp, I think, so we'll search up a swamp. Gonna go to shuffle here. Alright, gonna put this over here. Swamp is going to go to my hand. I already played a land for the turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. At the end of combat, Farfinder the token is going to disappear. So if he had leaves the battlefield trigger, that would go off, but the token is gone. But the original Farfinder is in exile with the memory counter on it. And actually, you know what? I think I played that incorrectly. So technically, this would come in. I forgot that I had this Hellspur Posse in exile as well. Or did I just exile him? I think I just exiled him. I think that's the reason I didn't do it. Okay, so Farfinder is gone. And then I'm going to tap 4. And I will put down an outpost siege. I'm going to move my deck off screen a little bit just so that I can keep these cards visible for everyone. So outpost siege. Here's my lands. And then I would shift the turn. Turn comes back to me. untap, upkeep, draw. I'm gonna go to my upkeep, so untap, upkeep. Outpost Siege trigger is gonna go off. I chose cons when it entered, so at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. So I will exile a Plains. Funny enough, I think I'm gonna play that Plains as the land for my turn. What else we got going on here? So I could give my creatures Cover of Darkness, which I think I'm going to. So I'm gonna tap for a black and a white here. And I'm gonna put down Cover of Darkness. Cover of Darkness says that, so I'm gonna choose Assassins as it comes in. And creatures that are Assassins, they have fear, so they can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or black creatures, which is neat. So it just made it that much more difficult for my opponents to block. Let's see, so Assassin, these two guys are Assassins as well. Did that at my upkeep. I wish I could fill up my graveyard a bit more, but it's not really happening right now. If, let's just say that there's, you know, like a problematic artifact, I'm gonna destroy that artifact with the Vandal Blast. Make sure I'm using my mana efficiently here. Actually, you know what, instead of Clifftop Retreat, let's leave that white up. Let's tap the mountain instead. And then we go to combat. These guys all have fear. I'm going to attack. Shoot, I'm going to attack the whole table. So here's 2 damage, here's 4, and here's 3. When he attacks, I get to exile 1 target assassin creature from my graveyard. I don't have any assassins in my graveyard, but I get to return each creature card that I own in exile with a memory counter. I get to create a tapped attacking token that's a copy of it. So I'm going to then bring in a Farfinder as a token copy that's tapped and attacking, and a Hellspur Posse Boss. So I got 2 triggers going on here. I'm going to create 2 additional mercenaries that are going to be untapped, but for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to keep that at 4. We still have our Outpost Siege over here to the side, which I don't think the camera's going to be able to pick up, unfortunately. So now we have my commander with these 2 tokens coming in, and so I did the Hellspur Posse Boss ETB, then I'll do the Farfinder ETB, which again is giving me the opportunity to search up a basic land card. I'm gonna go search up, let's look for a swamp this time, a sweet swamp that goes to my hand. Damage is going to be done to everyone. I believe that we did play a land this turn, so unfortunately I can't take advantage of that. At the end of combat, these 2 disappear because they're just tokens. So these 2 are gone. And, well, they're gone, but they have the memory counter on them. They're just existing in exile. And yes, I did play a land for the turn off of the Outpost Siege. So now, probably 3, 4 mana. Why not? Let's tap for 4 here, and I'll play an Anger as well, just to put them out. Perfect. Then ship the turn, pass the turn to me again. I will untap all these pre-lands. These 2 are still in exile with the memory counter. Untap the commander, untap Rashawn, the 4 mercenaries that I have now, and then the Outpost Siege trigger will go off, and I will exile the top card of my library. which is a shadowy backstreet, which I'm going to play as from exile as a land for my turn. So this will come in. It lets me surveil 1, so I will look at the top card of my library. I can decide to leave it or put it into my graveyard. I think I'm going to put it into my graveyard. Unfortunately, I wish that we were hitting some more creatures here, or more creatures were dying to go into the graveyard, but, you know, this is kind of giving you an example of, you know, the pattern of play with this deck, I suppose. Do I have anything else that I want to play? I don't want to board wipe. I suppose I could play her. When it enters the battlefield, you may sack an artifact or creature. When I do, get to exile target creature and opponent controls. So let's say that there is a problematic creature. I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I need an extra black. So I'm going to tap black here, black here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to leave that cliff top retreat up, I think. I'm going to pay plains. I'll play Undercity Eliminator. When she enters, I'm going to sacrifice one of my mercenaries. I'll get rid of the most problematic creature that's on board. Which at this point is probably going to be that guy. And then I will go to combat. This time I'm just going to swing with ALTAIR. I'm going to leave these guys as blockers. I'm going to, again, create token copy of Farfinder, of Hellspur, Posse, and Boss. He's going to enter. He's going to create 2 additional mercenaries. He's going to enter. I'm going to search for another land. Put a mountain, goes straight to my hand. And damage will be done. So, as you can see, like, the commander starts to act as an engine, which is pretty neat. Although I wish it was doing a little bit more right now. I don't know how many cards my buddy has that enable you to actually, like, search up creatures and toss them into the graveyard. Because I feel like we need more of those. So, end of combat. These 2 are going to disappear. Because they were just tokens. Exile the memory code. Attack tokens as copy. Exile those tokens. So death triggers wouldn't work because those tokens don't die unless they die in combat. They get exiled. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then pass the turn. Comes back to me. So untap everything. Let's see. So we'll untap all of the guys that we got here. And I'll remember to do the Outpost Siege trigger, the cons. So beginning my upkeep, exile the top card. It's a Selfless Spirit. This is a good choice for this deck. Anything to keep your stuff alive is going to be great. So I may play that as my card for the turn. What do we do? I'm kind of running into a situation where I don't have a lot of card draw, although I wonder if I can do something funny with Invasion of Fiora and Selfless Spirit to blow up all creatures on the battlefield except for mine. So how much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I have enough mana to do that, actually. So let's do let me do this correctly. So we'll do a white and a red to cast Selfless Spirit. And then on my first main phase still, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 2 black, or 2 swamps in the middle of all this. tap the Arcane Signet. And we will play Invasion of Fiora. And I'm going to destroy all legendary creatures and destroy all non-legendary creatures. I'll give the siege to one of my opponents, but in response to this, I'm going to, with this on the stack, I'm going to sacrifice Selfless Spirit to give all my creatures indestructible until end of turn. Neat little combo there. So these guys don't die. I mean, Outpost Siege is an enchantment. The rest of the board gets blown up, which is cool. And then I'm going to I don't transform the Invasion of Fiora. I haven't played with Sieges a whole lot, so I'm going to give this to one of my opponents. I don't think that's going to matter too much right now. Well, actually, I can probably get that Siege conquered now, which is kind of neat. I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to then move to combat. I'm going to swing the Roshan Hidden Magister at that Siege, because the Siege only has 4 points. I'm going to swing at that. And then I'm also going to swing ALTAIR IBN-LA'AHAD. ALTAIR IBN-LA'AHAD. Make sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Certainly hope I am. And then I will exile Selfless Spirit, who then goes into exile with a memory counter on it. Then for each creature card you own in exile with a memory counter on it, you create a tapped and attacking token. Huh. So does that actually mean, you know, maybe when he attacks, you exile to one target assassin creature. Again, the Selfless Spirit is an assassin creature because of Roshan, but then for each creature card you own in exile with a memory counter on it, you create a tapped and attacking token. Actually, you know what? I think I was playing this wrong. I think, because it's like all one clause, is that I do exile the Selfless Spirit, but then I think I immediately get to create a token copy of it, because when that second part happens, it does see the Selfless Spirit as having a memory counter on it. Although I will double check on that. I believe that that's actually how that's played. So I'm going to then bring in Selfless Spirit, a Farfinder, and a Hellspare Posse boss. So much going on here. So the Invasion of Fiora will get destroyed from my Roshan, and that turns into Marchesa Resolute Monarch. It's a human noble. It has Menace and Death Touch. Whenever she attacks, you remove all counters from to one target permanent. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you haven't been dealt that combat damage since your last turn, you draw a card and you lose a life. So a little bit of card draw. And I'm going to create 2 more mercenaries. So I'm going to go to 7. And I'm going to go search for a land and put it into my hand. So to keep this video a little bit shorter, that is kind of the basic mechanics of the deck. I mean, there are, you know, some tax effects that my buddy has in here. He's got some more assassins that do some fun stuff that, you know, you end up creating more creature tokens. There's one card I wanted to show really quick that is extremely busted in here. Actually, Conspiracy is another cool one because this also lets you choose assassins, and then creatures you control and creature cards in your graveyard, hand, and library are also assassins. So I think for this deck to work, you definitely need multiple like conspiracy-esque cards in the deck. Where's the one card that I want to show you guys? Here we go. Okay. The Master Multiplied. So I've seen my buddy play this before, and it gets nutty. So basically, The legend rule doesn't apply to creature tokens you control. So if you have multiple tokens that are legendaries, you can have them out as long as they're tokens, so you don't have to worry about sacrificing something because of the legendary rule. And then the second bit is where it gets really fun. Triggered abilities you control can't cause you to sacrifice or exile creature tokens you control. So you know how we're making these tokens off of Altair attacking and them having the memory counters on it? If this guy was out, you would not be able to sacrifice these tokens. So, consequently, the tokens stay in play. You still have the original cards out in exile with the memory counter on them. So, in your next combat phase, you'll attack again. You're going to get 3 more copies of these. Those tokens will stay as long as he's out. So, like I was saying, as long as he's out, you'll be able to keep these tokens. And my question is, what happens if he's in your graveyard, turns into assassin, gets exiled? If he gets exiled with the memory counter and then he comes back in as a token, then he sees himself. So this actually stays out. So no matter what happens, no matter whether he is in exile or you play him as a normal creature, this is probably straight up the, what do they call it, the golden pig or the MVP of the deck. Man, that's busted. But there's a little bit of a setup, and of course, you know, if you hose the Altair player's graveyard before they're able to exile anything, those cards get exiled, but they don't get exiled with the memory counter, because Altair is the one that gives the memory counters. So that is pretty cool. You know, playing this deck makes me kind of appreciate these mechanics. Makes me appreciate Assassin's Creed a bit more too. I think I might have to go and play some Assassin's Creed even. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed me kind of stumbling through this deck. I'm gonna give it some more reps and maybe get some actual gameplay footage of it. But anywho, I hope that this was relaxing. I hope that your week is going great, and please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments how you're liking these videos, and if you prefer these more I guess soft voice, you know, speaking videos, or if you prefer my whispering videos, because I like doing both. Anyway, have yourself a great rest of the night. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.